You see, it's Bank Holiday Monday, and we've got to end the weekend with a bit of wine and cheese. And so Ben Franks is in, the founder of Novel Wines, and a general wine expert. But you've not been in the trade for very long, though, have you?
No, 3 years. Still
3
a
years.
baby in the trade. So.
Oh. See, the last time we had someone in talking about that they were setting up a little wine festival. Excuse me, it's the excitement already. Setting up a little wine festival, and they weren't really a connoisseur; they were a novice, but they wanted to learn more. So the way to learn more is set up their own festival. It's quite that sort of strike you as a good idea.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the best way to get into wine is to just go and do it. Have a nice drink.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, well, originally a journalist for beers and cocktails, and then just discovered wine, just started drinking more widely.
Right.
Met Sam Lindo down at Camel Valley, the new by royal appointment vineyard.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Sam took me through all the wines because I knew nothing about wine, and it was just lovely.
Do you still drink beer?
Still drink
No,
beer.
just checking. I wonder whether you've been converted or not. You're here today because you've been working today, so I'm grateful that you've come in. Busy weekend then?
Yeah, we've been doing hen parties this weekend, so always good fun.
Oh, no. Are there any stories that we can broadcast?
Probably not.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay.
No, it's all right. It's just Bath. They're usually fairly well behaved. So.
Oh, come on. Never mind. We'll press on. We'll gloss over that. So you've been busy with your hen parties, and now we're going to hear a lovely sound in a moment, because what's happening is that this is the sound that we like to listen for, and it's the cork as it just comes out of the bottle, and there's an art to doing this. See, most people just struggle with this. Look at the ease with which he just does this, and the corkscrew's going in. And listen for it. Here we go. Oh, nearly. Oh, we got there in the end. You could just hear the strain of the cork as it was coming out. So, I'm intrigued about this. What were you doing before you? So you're working as a journalist.
Yes, I was. Yeah.
And what were you doing before that? Or have you always been a journalist?
No, I was writing while I was at uni. So
Right.
I came out of uni, did a journalism consultancy in the wine trade.
Right.
I did that for about a year and a half. Then fell in love with English wine. I wrote a lot about English wine.
Right.
We got English wine for you to taste,
Right.
and then I found a Bulgarian wine that I loved as well.
Right.
I thought, who's doing all these weird and wonderful wines? And no one was. So I set up Novel Wines about a year and a half ago.
Novel wines. It's very, because you're in Bath, aren't you? And
Yeah,
I went to a wine merchant in Bath, and he sold me some really good wine. And I went back, and he closed. Is it a tough market?
Well, it is, but luckily we focus on online and distribute all over the UK. So we've got a big London, Bristol market.
Right.
So we don't have to rely too much on the Bath
fair enough,
French wine drinkers.
Yes. Just worry about the hen parties.
That's it, yeah.
So what have that you've just opened that we've heard corked?
So you just heard the Artesana Donát, which I've opened. It's the red wine, the third one we're going to taste, just to give a bit of air in.
You're letting it breathe. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because there is an art, especially with red wine, isn't there? There's an art to drinking red wine. There's an art to pouring it as well. So whilst you're just opening that bottle there, which could go anywhere, what is the art to opening and pouring a bottle of red wine? Just go through the stages there, Ben.
So, I mean, the best thing to do, a lot of our wines that we sell are drink now, and same with the supermarket. So you very rarely need to decant them.
Right.
You get some really full-bodied wines with a bit of muddy sediment in the bottom. Completely harmless, but, if you don't want it in your wine, you can just decant it first. But the best way is just about half an hour before you're about to drink it, pull out the cork or unscrew the screw cap. The little bit of air that gets in an open bottle isn't going to be enough to change it. So the best thing is when you pour it from a slight height and give it a good swirl in your glass, and it opens a bit of air up.
Right, that's what. It is amazing actually that when you pour the red wine into the glass and you swirl it, if you taste it before you swirled it, the taste afterward, the difference.
Yeah.
What is it doing?
So it's all chemicals. So you're just putting a bit of oxygen there, opening up the flavour compounds, and making the wine a little bit more interesting because it's closed off.
I should bear that in mind when I open the next bottle of red wine that I do. I'm going to say I just need to open up the flavour compounds. Wait for it. Here we go. This could go anywhere. Watch that screen. There we go. You see now this is a bit of there's a bit of bubbly. You see we've got bubbly in the studio. My goodness, this is a lovely way to round off the bank holiday weekend. I think we should book him in for August. So what have we got there that you...
Perfect. So I want to show you an English sparkling.
This is Jubilate,
This
or
is
Jubilate,
Jubilate,
yes.
yeah. It's from Aldwick, so it's a lovely local one, just over in the Mendips.
Oh, nice.
They're a lovely wedding venue as well, but they're making all sorts of sparkling and still wines. And this is their Rosé sparkling, their Jubilate Pinot Noir.
Jubilate Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
So rosé we're having here.
Rosé, yeah. It's made exactly the same way as champagne.
Right.
And if you're thinking summer, I know the weather hasn't been very good the last couple of days, but if you're thinking summer, this is sort of the best.
Right, okay.
Best wine to go.
Now, do I have to swirl this or not?
Yeah, give it a swirl. Opens
rosé.
it up a little bit. But when you sniff sparkling wine, don't do a short, quick sniff because it goes right up your nose.
So you just
take a really long, slow, gentle sniff.
Meg's already gulped. Hang on.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Oh, that smells quite creamy.
Yeah, creamy, a bit fruity. It's like strawberries and cream, this one.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's good, isn't it?
Oh, hello.
Like it?
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, so really fresh.
And sometimes with sparkling wine, the fizz can get in the way, but it doesn't with this.
Yeah, it's really elegantly made because it's made in bottle. Prosecco is made in big tanks, so you sometimes feel the bubbles a bit. But this is made same way as champagne in bottle, and it makes it a lot smoother and yeastier.
And just in the Mendips as well.
Just in the Mendips, yeah.
They're being a bit quiet about that. They're a bit secretive.
They are, yeah. They're a very good vineyard, though.
Yeah, lovely. Wow, okay.
So you might feel the acid a little bit. So some people don't like sparkling wine because they feel the acid in the back of the cheeks. Best way to get rid of that, either chill it right down or pair it with something nice and salty. So sparkling wine goes really well with fish and chips or your English fry-up or something.
Oh, that's very good, because I've often been told that salt and wine don't go well together, so that's good news. Thank you.
Salt cuts through acid. So I've got a lovely bit of mature Manchego.
Right.
And if you go wine, bit of Manchego, then a bit of the wine, it'll get a lot
Right, now
fruitier.
I'm not a great cheese connoisseur, so this will be interesting. So there we go. So Manchego is that one there in the middle. So
yeah,
it looks,
I'm
just going to break a bit off, actually, if
Yep,
that's okay. There we go. There we go. Now let's have a go with this.
So all it'll do when you drink the wine afterwards is it will take off some of the acidity and be fruitier.
Tastes like fudge. Is that no? That does have that has a bit of a fudgy taste about it. Am I being offensive by saying that Manchego tastes like fudge?
No, not at all. It's quite creamy.
I could go to the. Let's just do Manchego at the pick and mix, shouldn't they? Really? Should do. No wonder Woolies went under. They weren't doing Manchego in their pick and mix.
Exactly. Oh, it's lovely.
This is fantastic. Thank you so much for
My
that.
pleasure. So you should have a fruitier wine after the cheese. Less acid, more fruit, more cream. Much easier to drink. I really like it.
It does actually. You're right.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Oh yeah, very good. Wow. Wow. And this is do you do sort of wine tasting courses and all this sort of stuff as well with your business? Or
I did do my wine tasting course. I'm still studying for the level 4 with the Wine and Spirits Education Trust. I actually started my wine and spirits exams just before I graduated university, which was really bad timing from an education point of view.
No.
But, yeah, it worked out really well. Gave me a bit of credibility going in as a at the time 21-year-old.
Yeah, but you're not much older now, though, are you?
24 now.
Oh, I went into the wrong business. Wow.
But yeah, it's good fun. So do you fancy trying?
Yes, it's a Jubilate with Manchego,
yeah.
and there we go. Wow.
And if you want to sweeten it up, bit of quince jelly as well. That's really nice.
Very good. So what's the next thing you're going to bring my way?
I thought of bringing a Sauvignon Blanc, but we're not into the ordinary. So I've gone with a Furmint, which is a Hungarian grape variety, very similar to Chardonnay. It's part fermented in oak, part in stainless steel. And it's just a really fresh wine from the Soil Story range from St. Donát on Lake Balaton, which is one of the most stunning places in Europe if you ever get to go and visit. And St. Donát is a lovely winery. And this is...
Oh, just listen to that. Yeah, I know, but it just makes it looks like a nice bottle.
Yeah, you've got a little dinosaur in the bottle here saying life is hard with tiny arms, which is quite fun.
This is not a sparkling one, though, is it?
This is a white. Perfect again for summer, I think.
Oh, yes. There you go. Tea on the lawn, cucumber sandwiches, bit of cricket, and this.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not very good. I'm not as fond of white wine as I am with red. So.
What do you think?
That's really. It's quite smooth, that, isn't it?
Very smooth.
It's got a very
Sweet.
subtle taste.
Yeah.
I would say.
So it's fresh, but that smoothness comes from a third of it is aged in oak. So you've got a little bit of softness.
And also, Are you supposed to swirl the glass with white wine or not?
Yeah.
Does it do the same
all
thing?
wine does the same thing. It opens it up. You get a bit more flavour coming out. The other way is when you drink it, put a little bit on your tongue and slurp some air over it,
Ooh.
which sounds silly, but you give it a go.
No,
and
nothing
you
sounds
taste
silly with
taste a
wine,
lot.
Ben. Don't be daft. And what's the cheese you recommend with this?
So any good Sauvignon or a crisp Chardonnay-esque
Oh,
wine
Donát.
like this needs some goat's cheese. So I've got the Rachel's goat's cheese here.
See if I'll just snap a bit off. If that's all right.
Yeah,
I don't want to see my fingers. There we go. I haven't got the time to eat the whole thing.
So it's nice and soft, this goat's cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And it just takes off a tiny bit of acid in the white. Makes it really fruity, really easy to enjoy.
Do you know what, seriously, I'm not a big fan of cheese, but to drink it, have it with wine.
Yeah.
If you eat the cheese and then drink the wine at the same time, has an effect.
It's good, isn't it?
There's not a lot to take away from the wine anyway, because it doesn't have the same kind of acidities you're talking about with this wine, to be fair.
No, it's really well balanced. So the acid is there, but it's balanced with the fruit. So you're tasting more fruit and the silky texture of it.
Wow.
Yeah,
My
one
goodness.
of my favourites. Brand new
Lovely.
wine to novel as well.
Tim McSweeney's going to come in and read the news, and it's going to smell of cheese and wine in here. He's going to have a nightmare. So that's great. And
Yep.
I like wine and cheese, but I'm just a red wine and cheddar man myself. So my palate has been opened up. So I'm thrilled that you've come in. So
Great
thank you.
stuff.
But
Yeah.
we've got that lovely red that's
Yeah, you've got red wine and cheddar as your
Oh,
last wine to
this-
taste.
If only we had Ritz crackers to go with it. Other crackers are available. Never mind. Actually, no, I've got some Rivita Thins.
Oh, excellent.
Other said item are available as well. You know.
So, do you want to try the last one?
No, let's do that, yes.
So this is Donát. So Donát is sort of Uruguay's response to Malbec.
Oh,
really,
right, okay.
really chocolatey.
Is Malbec
full-bodied.
Argentinian? Is that?
So both the grape varieties are French,
Oh, right.
but they've been adopted in
Right,
Argentina
okay, yeah.
and the Donát in Uruguay. And basically, it's like Malbec, but much chocolatey.
Ooh,
Chocolatey.
right, okay, we know what we're looking at for now then.
So what you get is your perfect barbecue red.
I noticed that Ben isn't having a try of these, Meg. This is
I've been drinking all weekend. This is
Oh, here we go.
this is my hour off.
Thank you.
I know the wine's like the back of my hand.
Right, so I'm going to try it without swirling it first.
Give it a go.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite tannic and full, made by two excellent female winemakers in Canada.
That's very smooth, but let me just swirl that a bit without sort of making it go everywhere. 'Cause this is the bit I do love with red wine, is after you've swirled it.
Yeah.
The taste is different.
Much fruitier after that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that really has brought it
That's
out.
actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, yeah.
Incredible.
Oh, yeah.
So because I got this as your barbecue match, I've got applewood cheddar rather than a straight standard
let's have a
cheddar.
bit of the applewood
So
cheddar.
A bit of smokiness.
Thank you.
That should go really nicely with the tannins in this wine. So give it a go.
Oh, let's have a bit of that there. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that's
Oh, excuse me.
lovely.
Oh, well, I'll take the whole lot. There we
So
go.
good.
So this is applewood cheddar.
Yep.
So nice and smoky. And bit of wine.
Yep. So it's new oak as well. So you've got quite a lot of oak flavour. So it goes with
Oh,
the cheese
man.
nicely.
Oh, it's so good.
Do you know what? When I'm cooking and I add barbecue seasoning, just like that, that's a much better version of
Rich.
barbecue
Oh.
seasoning.
That's good.
That's amazing.
Flavours,
Good.
amazing.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. Ben, what else can you tell me?
Well, the one you just tried, the red wine, is 6 years old, so all Donát needs a bit of time in bottle to soften up, which is why it's good to be drinking it now.
Right.
And then in terms of novel wines, I think we should just invite everyone to our annual party. So once a year, we open all 180 wines we stock
Oh, yes.
in Bath at the Hilton.
Right.
And it's a great opportunity to taste lots of weird and wonderful wine.
When's that, Ben?
It's 22nd of September this year.
That's too
so-
long. Too far away.
But we run monthly tastings at the Square Club in Bristol as well.
Right.
So
Oh, right.
if-
Really?
Yeah.
At the Swag? And when do you do that?
So they're on Tuesday evenings, and we open about 6 or 7 bottles, all paired with cheese, once a month.
Right.
But if you want to try the whole lot, it's September.
September. No, but I can handle just a few, just to be going with. And that's the thing as well, because, it's very easy to sort of like swig the bottle and just... we often we have a phrase that we wine o'clock,
Yeah.
or we get home after work and just pour a glass. But I was actually thinking about, if we just sort of thought about it a bit more,
Yeah.
what we could do with that. This has been actually a really lovely experience. It's been quite
Good.
therapeutic, especially the last one. That's been amazing. That
Yeah.
has real smoky barbecue. So we have the applewood cheddar and
the Artesana Tanat from Uruguay.
oh, I see. Well, there we are. And so I'll be seeing you in September, and probably every month up until September as well. And,
Sounds
but
good.
how is business though? Is it good for those sorts of things?
Yeah, it's good. So we wanted to set Another Wines up to have every wine as a talking point, rather than drinking it in front of the telly. You can open it, share it with friends.
Yeah.
And it's going quite well, yeah.
That's the thing, because also just using food and wine now as well as the social aspect of food is quite important
Yeah.
on a serious level. And it's very easy to sort of go home, cook and drink and eat alone. But actually, to share that experience,
Definitely.
is actually quite special, and to sort of,
Especially if the wine is good as well.
it feels good to me, Ben.
Great, good.
Well, Ben, thank you very much for ending your bank holiday with us. It's been really lovely that you've come in and shared with us. I'm really
It's my
thrilled.
pleasure.
Thank you so
Thank
much. And hopefully we'll see you soon. Thank you, Meg, for sharing your lack of James Bond knowledge.